Oh, this is they're different. They're red, yellow, and
Yeah, one's for meatheads.
Yeah.
One's for like bone domes.
bone dome.
You have to have a comb dome. Just hope we didn't try it out. I never wore one down here last time I was down here.
No, we.
See, it's a good job for all the shoes, Richard. Better to wear the shoes. There's a till there. Oh, there it is, Ramsgate Tunnel, look, the old sign.
Oh,
What's left of it. And the air raid siren. A commode.
Pardon?
A commode.
Let's gather round.
Siren,
Yeah, yeah.
Just before we start, can I ask who's local in terms of, say, Ramsgate or Planets?
Of course.
You know the brothers?
Yeah.
Victoria Road, Danbury Road?
Yeah.
Okay. Ramsgate Tunnels, the Victorian Railway Tunnel we're standing in now, we're just a little way further up with the concrete wall for the entrance into the air raid tunnels. Ramsgate was already a seaside resort when the first railway reached Ramsgate in 1846. The line came from London through Ashton and Canterbury, then to Ramsgate, from which a direct line went straight to Margate. The station, though, was actually nearly a mile from where we're standing, well away from Ramsgate Sands. A greater boost to Ramsgate's development as a seaside town came with the rival company's line in 1863. And the line was built from London through Chatham to Faversham, and then round by Whitstable and Herne Bay to Margate and into Broadstairs. And then they needed to get the line from Broadstairs into Ramsgate. They wanted it, as a rival company, they wanted a better position. They wanted their station right down by the sands. So to do that, they built the tunnel that we're standing in, which is nearly a mile long, and the northern port is just inside Broadstairs. And this twin-track railway tunnel brought the railway line right down to Ramsgate Sands. The print here shows the station, superb location, right next to the sands, the harbour beyond, and the town centre just round the corner. So, from 2 lines of the tunnel, 4 lines going through the station, both Ramsgate stations were terminus stations. So you had to turn the train round, so the locomotive could be detached at the far end, run over a turntable, brought back round to the end of the train, coupled up again, ready for the return journey. What was a great advantage in later years became a disadvantage. This picture is from the opposite direction, looking towards Broadstairs. You can see the cliff there and the sands, the pier that was there until about the 1920s. You can see the site was quite confined and the station just couldn't expand. The tunnel that we're standing in has quite a steep gradient of 175, and that caused problems for locomotives using the tunnel. From a standing start, the locomotive would need a lot of power to draw its train up through the tunnel. If you look above what it would have been the upline to London, you can see soot deposits there on the roof of the tunnel from all of that effort to get the train through the tunnel. If you look on the other side, there's nothing, because the train could almost coast down through the tunnel right down to the station. That caused problems on a couple of occasions. During the August Bank Holiday of 1891, because of the negligence of the train crew, they hadn't checked that the trains had the right brake couplings. The train came down through the tunnel, couldn't stop, went right through the station, over the turntable at the other end, knocked down the boundary wall, and unfortunately an oyster seller standing at the other end was killed with the collapse of the wall. It occurred again in March 1915, a very wet day when a goods train was being brought down. The brakes failed to work because of the wet conditions. The train went right to the station again, over the turntable, and again, the wall was knocked down. This photograph is actually shown in many local history books. It's not very good reproduction, but you can see the wall knocked down with all the advertising hoardings. So that was 1915, and that was during the First World War. During the First World War, the railways were under government control, and after the war, the government realised that it needed to do more amalgamation of railway companies to reduce the number of companies that were operating. So in 1923, railway companies within this country were grouped under 4 regional groups, and for us it was the Southern Railway. The Southern Railway looked at the arrangement within Ramsgate, and between 1923 and 1926, big changes were made. First of all, they built a line round the back of the town to link up the 2 separate lines coming into Ramsgate. Having done that, to do that, they needed to build a viaduct to take the railway into what's now the present Ramsgate station. So a viaduct, a new station at Ramsgate, a smaller intermediate station at Dumpton Park, beside the main road between Ramsgate and Broadstairs. Having done that, the closures then followed. They closed the direct line to Margate, they closed the Old Town station, and they closed the Sands or Harbour station down here at the end of the tunnel. So the site here was left derelict. The council owned the land, and eventually the land was leased to one company and its successor company, and they redeveloped the site. The station was cleared apart from the main station building, and the area became an amusement park, with the main canopy there being converted into the main amusement hall. It was known as Merry England, and in its later life it became known as Pleasure Armour. The change of use worked very well indeed, and the amusement park was very popular. But the company was conscious of Margate's advantage, with its station being close to the seafront, and withdrew their amusement park being opened. So during the 1930s, the Southern Railway was asked if they could reopen the tunnel to have a kind of shuttle service coming down here to bring people directly down to the Sands again. The Southern Railway wouldn't have that, so the company went it alone and built a miniature railway coming up from the Sands, about 2/3 of the length of this tunnel, and then branching off in a narrow broad tunnel to Pearson Road. The road again that links Broadstairs to Ramsgate. The terminus at the far end of the tunnel was on Pearson Road, just 5 minutes away from Dumpton Park railway station. So you could come from London, you could get off the train at Dumpton Park, walk 5 minutes down the road, get onto the miniature railway, and 5 minutes later it would bring you right down here to Ramsgate seafront. It opened ready for August Bank Holiday 1936, and there were 20,000 passenger journeys that first August Bank Holiday weekend. So it worked really well indeed. This is a later photograph. In later years, the railway became known as the Tunnel Railway. But you can see with the train down here, an electric train, 2-foot gauge, an overhead cable, sort of tramway system. So things were going well for Ramsgate as a result, right through to 1939 with the outbreak of war. And obviously with the war, that was it in terms of Ramsgate's resort function. After the war, Ramsgate was soon back on its feet again, with the Tunnel Railway doing its bit to bring visitors down. And things went well during the late 40s, 50s and into the 60s, and then with package holidays to Spain, Ramsgate and other seaside towns did less well as a seaside resort. And the Tunnel Railway started to look a bit dilapidated. In 1965, unfortunately, there was another accident. This time, the electric train failed to stop at this end, crashed through the buffers at the end, apparently ended up on the roof of the staff toilet, which fortunately was unoccupied at the time. But at the end of the season, the company decided to call it a day, and the Miniature Row was closed, 1965. And then that was the end of public access into any part of the tunnel system for 49 years until we reopened in 2014. As for the amusement park, that continued until it was destroyed in a mysterious fire in 1998. And since then, we've had the building site outside, and we were really hoping maybe in the next 3 years something decent will finally occupy that site again. As you move forward, somebody noticed this earlier, the signage there is all that way against the other side, and the holes with the light bulbs to the side of the illuminated. That's moving forward now to the